Hey guys and girls, this is a video today, probably more geared up towards our better players. I had the idea of putting this together from a conversation that I had with a very good player that I teach, and he came into our performance centre and he was just in conversation, just said, I really want to get my launch angle down. He owns his own TrackMan, so he's got all his numbers. And he said, really want to bring my launch angle down. He said, what is the kind of average launch angle of the average Tour Pro? And we were kind of looking with a 7-iron around about 16, 17 degrees, which is pretty low. His ball was launching more like 22, which is significantly higher. And he said, he's been trying to de-loft the golf club at impact, basically. Get his hands forward a little bit more and squeeze his trajectory down a little bit. He felt like he was doing a decent job of it, but still this launch angle was really up in the air, and he was a bit of a loss as to what to do. So he really was, if he wanted to bring his launch angle down with his swing, he's going along the right lines there. He wants his hands a bit more forward, but what you'll find is that, especially for good players, the majority of the time you've really got to look at other things like your equipment first of all. So these are about maybe the lesser known factors that affect trajectory. So I'm going to talk mainly today a little bit about friction and about how that affects your launch conditions. So I've got a 7-iron here, and as you can probably see, the sweet spot's really worn, and I don't really have many grooves left in this. The grooves are very shallow, and when I hit this 7-iron on TrackMan, my launch angle is up there at about 19, 20 degrees, and my spin rate is down by about 3,000, which is super low, and that's with this 7-iron and a range ball. Now, without changing my swing, I pick up the exact same 7-iron, a brand new version of it, and I get a soft ball, and without changing anything, my launch angle comes down by about 3 or 4 degrees. So just having that softer ball and sharper cut grooves causes the ball to just grip the face for that little bit longer, and it launches lower. And it also spins a lot more as well, so the flight is completely different. So we did the same thing with this guy. We got him a new 7-iron and a soft covered ball, and straight away his launch angle goes from about 22 to about 18, and it was like, okay, great, but he still wanted it a little bit lower. So then we just said, okay, well, let's have a look at the loft on your 7-iron. So we put the loft of his 7-iron in the loft and line machine, and it's coming out about 35 degrees, which going back maybe 10-15 years ago was about normal, but we see a lot of loft shrinkage now. This is a lot to do with the marketing of clubs. When you buy a set now, the marketing is all about, okay, these clubs go 3-4 yards further than the previous set, and they've said that year on year on year on year. And all they're simply doing is producing clubs with less loft. So the average 7-iron was maybe 35 degrees of loft back 15 years ago. Now it's closer to 30. So that 7-iron is now in effect like a 6-iron, or even like in some cases closer to what a 5-iron used to be. So again, we got a 7-iron and we bent it by a couple of degrees, got it down to about 33, and that all of a sudden gives him the launch angle that he's looking for. So in this case, we could probably say his issue was 20% technique and 80% the equipment he was using. So we got him to practice a couple of little low punch shots just to get the handle a little bit more forward, and we're talking a couple of degrees, which is going to lower his launch angle a little bit. We got him to play the Pro V1X, which is a softer covered ball, and a new set of irons with nice sharp grooves. And straight away his launch angle was, whereas it was like 22 degrees, get it down to somewhere like 17 degrees, and he was really happy. So if you are not happy with your trajectory, have a look at your technique, but don't forget the cover of the ball needs to be nice and soft, your grooves need to be nice and sharp, and you've got to make sure that the loft on your clubs is giving you the flight that you want. So they're the lesser known factors that affect trajectory. So I want you to be aware of those things when you're trying to change your trajectory. Don't just think it's you, have a look at your equipment. And between a little bit of good coaching and some good club fitting, you'll be able to hit the ball on the trajectory you want. So give that a try, have a look at it, and I'll see you guys soon.